Welcome to My Books and Storytime by Mybooksandstorytime. Let's explore. A plane crashes on a remote, uninhabited island in the middle of the ocean. The only survivors are a group of British schoolboys, stranded far from civilization with no adults to guide them. The island, at first glance, appears to be a paradise, a place of lush green jungle, sandy beaches, and shimmering lagoons. But the boys are alone, and their survival now depends on their ability to work together. Among the survivors, two boys emerge as early leaders: Ralph, a fair-haired, charismatic boy who has a natural air of authority, and Piggy, an overweight, asthmatic boy with thick glasses and a sharp intellect. While Ralph represents order and leadership, Piggy embodies reason and intelligence. As they explore the island, they come across a large conch shell, which Piggy suggests they use to call the other boys. Ralph blows into the conch, producing a deep, resounding noise that echoes across the island. One by one, the other boys emerge from the jungle, gathering on the beach. Among them are Jack Merridew, a tall, red-haired boy who leads a group of choir boys, and Simon, a quiet, introspective boy who seems to have a deep connection to nature. Recognizing the need for leadership, the boys vote for a chief. Ralph, with his calm demeanor and the conch in hand, is chosen over Jack, who is bitter about the loss but accepts it for now. The struggle for order. Under Ralph's leadership, the boys attempt to establish a sense of civilization. They decide to build shelters, gather food, and most importantly, maintain a signal fire at the top of the mountain to alert passing ships. Jack, despite his initial frustration at not being chief, takes command of a hunting party, vowing to provide meat for the group. But something within Jack is changing. The moment he sets foot in the jungle with a spear in hand, he feels alive in a way he never has before. The thrill of the hunt begins to consume him. Meanwhile, the younger boys, known as Litluns, begin to struggle with fear. At night, they whisper about a beast that lurks on the island, a shadowy, monstrous figure they claim to have seen in the dark. Ralph and Piggy insist there is no beast, that fear is merely in their minds. But doubt lingers. Even the older boys begin to feel uneasy. Jack's descent into savagery. As time passes, the struggle between order and chaos becomes more apparent. Ralph and Piggy cling to civilization, while Jack grows more obsessed with hunting. He paints his face with clay and charcoal, transforming himself into something almost inhuman. One day, Jack and his hunters kill a pig for the first time. They return to the group covered in blood, chanting wildly. The hunt has awakened something primal within them, a hunger for power, violence, and domination. Ralph, disturbed by Jack's growing influence, tries to reassert control. He insists that maintaining the fire is more important than hunting. But the fire goes out just as a ship passes by the island. Their one chance of rescue is lost, and Ralph is furious. Jack, however, doesn't care. He is too intoxicated by the hunt, by the power of the kill. From this moment on, the divide between Ralph and Jack becomes irreversible. The boys are no longer just stranded schoolchildren, they are factions. The beast and Simon's fate. The fear of the beast grows stronger. One night, after a storm, a dead parachutist drifts onto the island, landing near the mountaintop. His body, tangled in his parachute, is mistaken for the beast. In their terror, the boys convince themselves that the monster is real. But Simon, the quiet, thoughtful boy, is different from the others. He ventures into the jungle alone, where he has a strange, almost mystical encounter with a severed pig's head impaled on a stick, the Lord of the Flies. The grotesque head, swarming with flies, seems to speak to him, whispering dark truths. It tells him that the beast is not a physical creature, but something within the boys themselves, the darkness in their hearts. Terrified but enlightened, Simon stumbles toward the others to tell them the truth. But it is night, and the boys, whipped into a frenzy of fear and bloodlust, mistake Simon for the beast. In a wild, savage dance, they attack him with their bare hands and teeth, tearing him apart. By the time they realize what they have done, it is too late. Simon's lifeless body drifts into the sea, carried away by the waves. Piggy's end and the collapse of order. The next morning, Ralph and Piggy are horrified. They know that the boys have crossed a line. They have killed one of their own. But Jack and his hunters feel no remorse. They have fully embraced savagery, painting their faces, carrying spears, and declaring Jack as their chief. Ralph and Piggy, now completely isolated, try to reason with Jack's tribe. They approach their stronghold on Castle Rock, where Jack reigns like a tribal king. They demand the return of Piggy's glasses, which have been stolen to make fire. Jack laughs. He no longer respects the conch, no longer fears rules. As Ralph and Jack argue, Roger, Jack's cruel second-in-command, pushes a massive boulder down from the cliff. Piggy never sees it coming. The rock strikes him, crushing his body. The conch, the symbol of civilization, shatters into 1,000 pieces. Piggy is dead. The final hunt. Ralph, now alone, becomes the hunted. Jack's tribe, painted like demons, armed with spears, set fire to the jungle to smoke him out. Ralph runs for his life, dodging through the burning trees, knowing that if they catch him, they will kill him like an animal. The fire spreads wildly, engulfing the island in flames. Just as Ralph stumbles onto the beach exhausted, he falls at the feet of a naval officer. Rescue and the end of innocence. A British ship drawn by the smoke has arrived. The officer, seeing the boys with their painted faces and weapons, is stunned. "What have you been doing?" he asks. At that moment, Ralph begins to weep. He weeps for Piggy, for Simon, for the loss of their innocence. The other boys, realizing what they have become, begin to sob as well. The island burns behind them, a symbol of their own destruction. And so they are rescued, but not from themselves. Final thoughts. The darkness within. William Golding's Lord of the Flies is more than a survival story. It is a haunting exploration of human nature, power, and the thin line between civilization and savagery. The boys, left without authority, do not remain innocent. They descend into chaos, proving that evil is not an external force, but something within us all. By the end, the island is in flames, just as their childhood innocence is destroyed. They may have been rescued, but can they ever truly go back to who they were? Because as Golding shows us, the beast was inside them all along. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksandstorytime.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends. And let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.